Hello and welcome back to our AWS Connect Contact Center training. In this video, we're going to talk about contact lens. Contact lens is used to improve the performance of agents helping customers. And once again, this video is brought to you by Home Task AI. So let's talk at a very high level about what contact lens is. Now, contact lens is a machine language powered analytics tool integrated with AWS Connect. It provides real-time analysis of customer interactions with agents. So the goal is you're listening to a phone call. A customer is connected with an agent. The customer's talking, the agent's listening, the agent's talking. Think of it as two sound files, two separate streams, and you want to know the sentiment of the customer. You want to know the performance of the agent. Is the agent being too quiet? Is the agent saying the correct things? All of this contact lens can control and improve the performance of customer and agent interactions. Okay, so first of all, um, uh, uh, like I said, most of the time you're talking on the phone, it's sound files. So basically, it transcribes to text, and text has key phrases. And the key phrases are used to say, is this customer happy? How is his sentiment? Is he happy or is he mad? Is he going to cancel service? And so, in order for that to happen, the sound files have to be transcribed, and the transcriptions text has to be analyzed, and there's key phrases that determine what is going on. Okay, so the contact lens is used. You could search for sentiment degrades, real-time supervisor alerts, etc. So the bottom line is, if a customer gets on the phone and says, "I'm going to cancel my service. I'm really unhappy with what's going on," whatever, boom, 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 and an alert goes off. A supervisor can cut in and interfere with the and not interfere, but come into the call, give the customer a discount, watch the customer get happier as the phone call goes on, etc., and their sentiment improves. So that's the goal of that particular bullet. Now, like I said, it helps businesses with customer service, call center efficiencies, and agent performance. Um, and it's easily enabled with an instance through the console. So you could enable contact lens, and then what you could do is you could run reports and generate dashboards and stuff like that. So behind the scenes, it uses buckets and transcriptions to do its thing. It does work with selected language, and it can redact sensitive data like phone numbers, addresses, social security numbers, etc. And it could do this in text and in audio. Um, and typically, and you could generate both. Uh, the original audio or the original text or the redacted text and the redacted audio. You can do both of them. And what's interesting is you could define rules, phrases that must be spoken by the agent. So think of it this way, right? You have customers calling in, they go to a customer service queue. The agent gets some whisper. We know this caller is in the customer agent queue, so the agent knows what to say and how to say it. And there could be rules associated with that. And so let's take a second scenario. There's leads. There's leads. We've done a Facebook campaign, and now we're using the predictive dialer to call out the customer. The customer gets connected with an agent. And that scenario, the agent sees that the call came in on the leads queue. The leads queue is set up for the Facebook campaign. So the agent starts the conversation in this scenario and says, "Hello, I work for this agency. I heard that you filled out a form on the Facebook campaign, and you were interested in this type of service. How can I help you with that?" So the rules defined with how the agent interacts with the customer can be defined, can be evaluated, etc. You could apply the rules to a queue and evaluate the performance of the agents using evaluation forms active in security profiles. So if you are an agent and you are in a security profile and you are listening to a leads queue, and that leads queue is a result of a Facebook campaign, that agent in that security, not the security profile, but the routing profile, whatever, has to be able to deal with that customer based on the rules to improve the performance. Okay, enough said. We could also we version the resources, and there's also quality management that contact lens can help with. Okay, so what is the output of contact lens? So let's give you a little example. This is on the Amazon website, and so what are we trying to do? Okay, suppose we want to know this customer is complaining. We want to know what this customer's interaction is with a particular agent. We generate a report, and it automatically produces this dashboard. And this dashboard basically shows the contact details. It's a voice call. It was 2 minutes long. It was on the basic queue. Here's the agent. Here's the customer number. And it was an outbound call. And we see here from the conversation analytics that the customer sentiment trend, he started out kind of like on zero, and then he or she started expressing his concern and unhappiness or whatever. And then after towards the end of the call, he started getting happier because his problem got fixed or whatever. So this is the overall sentiment is rated, that you could see how the sentiment changes over time for the customer. And usually that's because the customer is upset when he gets on the phone. Initially, he's bothered by something. He has a problem, and then towards the end of the call, he's resolved a lot of his issues and he's happier. Um, and the next graph shows the customer sentiment. Um, 33% negative, 33% positive, 33% neutral. I don't know how useful that is, but you definitely want the positive to be greater. Um, And then there's the talk time. This is interesting because it gives you another perspective. The agent talk time was 21%. The customer talk time was 36%. Now this is a little concerning. The non-talk time, that's that's a lot of waiting around, a lot of no conversation happening. So that doesn't look so good. But to give you an idea of what kind of analytics you could generate. This is a simple example, um, and it does take some work to really understand what kind of reports you're trying to generate and what do you get out of this tool. Okay, this is another picture that Amazon shows, and I like this picture because this is where you see the customer. You see the customer sound file and the agent sound file, and the customer's doing a lot of the talking, which is good. Then the agents trying to help out, and like it seems like it's normal because the customer should be talking initially. But well, as you see from the transcripts, the customer is very unhappy. You see the sentiment, unhappy, unhappy, unhappy. And it's because he's very upset that he bought his wife an herb garden, and he was unsatisfied with the product. It didn't work. Some of the seeds didn't grow. And basically, he expresses he's upset. My wife is blind, and I was giving her this present, which was not working, the flowers weren't growing, whatever he's saying here. Very unhappy. Now, then he ends with, I don't know why I should be giving money to a company that doesn't, give me a product that works, et cetera, et cetera. So this is what contact lens does for you. It looked for your wife. If the sentiment of the customer could have gotten better. Doesn't look like it happened here, but this is just an example to show you what you're trying to avoid, and this this poor sentiment from the customer is something that you want to improve. You want the customers to be happy when they leave the phone. You don't want them to cancel service. You don't want them to not buy there anymore. So just an example of what the analysis can do for you. But of course, when stuff like this happens, a supervisor could be alerted. A supervisor could break into the call and say, let me help you with this thing. I'm going to give you a refund. I'm going to give you another product, and we'll give you a 50% off coupon. And very sorry, for that your wife's birthday was ruined by this product. Whatever it takes to make the customer smile again and come back and purchase. So anyway, that's really all we wanted to show during this contact lens video, and I'm going to show you an online demo um, that shows you how to turn on some of these reports, and we could look at the results and look at the type of reports we could generate. Thank you for joining.